Hello, hello, and welcome with a special episode of the Hate Plotters.
Yes, the hate plotters
The rant
again
plotters.
against Hodinkee. If you were with us a few weeks ago, we released an episode called Hodinkee, Our Unrequited Love. And we talked about how much we liked Hodinkee, but how much they kept pissing us off and how everything kind of wasn't going well. We have some news stories for you. And this is once again a firsthand experience of just some more Hodinkee level garbage that's going on. And so we'll tell you a story. But before we get there,
Yes.
Ralph,
Yeah.
what are you wearing?
I'm so boring again. I'm still wearing my Daytona 126-500 black, or how some people, it has a nickname, right? What is it called? The Stormtrooper or something? Yeah. So
Is it? I never heard this.
I don't know why, but I heard this recently and I thought, oh, you have the Stormtrooper. And I was like, oh, do I? I don't know.
Does everything have to have
Is it Darth Vader?
nickname?
No, I don't know. I don't know either. I think Darth Vader would be cooler because it's black, right?
The what? Darth Vader? Yeah, I could see that working.
Anyhow, so yeah, I'm still wearing this one. I had it on my vacation with me, visiting good old Germany. I wore it a couple of times. No issues. I took my Gérard Perregaux Laureato black ceramic with me and the Daytona, and I was happy. It was all fine.
That's quite a ballsy move to be taking those
but
high-value watches to Europe.
Yeah, I thought, oh, come on. Nothing ever happens. So this time also nothing ever happened. So knocking on wood, it was okay.
That's nice. That's nice.
So what are you wearing?
So I'm wearing my Tudor Black Bay 54 again. I seem to be wearing this quite frequently. This is one of the reasons that I think that I repurchased that Oris X Hodinkee was because they're roughly the same size. They're both these vintage style small dive watches. And I do like this style very much. So I figured I'm wearing this so much recently since I've had it, according to the Wrist Check Pro app, Wrist Track or whatever they call it now. This was the 32nd time I've worn it since I've bought it. And I think I bought it in June or July? July, I think. Middle of July.
That's quite a lot. 32 in such a short time.
Yeah, but I did take it on vacation, and that was 11 days or so just by itself. But then the funny thing was I wore it a couple days before vacation because I bought it literally for the vacation right before we left. Then we came back, and I continued wearing it. You'd think you'd be tired of something, right? After wearing it 11 days straight. Nope. I had it on NATO for the vacation. I took off the NATO, put back the rubber strap, and I kept wearing it.
Yeah, sometimes it's not just really, you actually really enjoy wearing it. I was actually wondering the last couple of times when I looked at my watch box that I have this upper level and the lower level, right? And how little I actually used watches in the lower level, because, now I'm at the moment thinking expensive watches need to be worn, right?
Yes, of course. And I agree with that. And, your lower level, you're talking your PRXs, right?
No, I'm talking about the Tudor Pelagos. I'm talking about Breitling, Super Ocean.
Well, if you want to sell the Tudor, I can make a good deal for you. A good friend of ours sold his Tudor Pelagos 39. He sold it for, I think, 8,000 dirhams.
All right.
So if you would like 8,000 dirhams for your Tudor Pelagos, I'd be happy to do it for you. So I'm dead serious. And any time you tell me when, and I'll give you 8,000 dirhams cash. Deal?
Okay. Yeah, it's a deal. If I decide to sell it, yes, it's a deal.
Yeah, of course. No, I was thinking to myself, if I had another good, because I'm wearing my Tudor so much, I thought to myself, I could go for a Pelagos as well. You have to have both of them.
Yeah.
So,
but what I wanted to say with the watch that you actually wore on a vacation, you actually really like, if you love it, right, then you like it even more, and you think, yeah, that was a nice time, and it was also such an easy time, right? You just
look back at it.
Yeah.
Yes. You look back at it like, oh, I remember the time I was here with this and so forth, and it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is. So hence, once again, why I bought it again, or bought a similar watch again, and Hey, let's see what
Ay, ay,
happens.
ay,
But
ay, ay. So now
anyway, that
explain
brings
to
us to the
us, yeah,
drama.
explain to us what happened in the drama. What did you do? I mean, the last time we both
So
ordered from
we were
Hodinkee,
very happy,
we
right?
were happy. It was shipped quite fast. We got our stuff quite fast. Everything was good, right?
So
But
I ordered 3 items from Hodinkee this time around in the massive clearance sale.
yeah,
One was the Hodinkee work shirt, the wool Drake's X Hodinkee work shirt. If you know me, if you've seen me, I do like wearing work shirts, aka shackets, shirt jackets
jacket.
quite frequently.
It's a
I
shirt
almost wear them every
jacket.
single day.
That's what
It
it
is. It
means.
is.
Yeah, a
It's like a
shacket.
what I usually have is denim ones,
Uh
right?
huh.
And I wear my khakis and my button downs um, for work, and then I put a shacket over because sometimes it gets really cold in my office, and it's not super dressy like wearing a blazer, but it adds a little bit of je ne sais quoi to your wardrobe. So I've been wearing these quite frequently. Um, then, so where I said, okay, it's great. It was on fairly good deal. So I ordered that. And then I ordered I've been eyeing this watch for quite some time, the Grand Seiko Hodinkee Limited Edition. So I was
Mm-hmm.
looking at it and I was thinking to myself, it's now on discount. It was $3,250, I believe.
Yeah.
Originally 5,400. So I said, you know what, screw it, I'll get it. And at the same time, I said, I might as well throw in the Oris Hodinkee. As I said, I've been wearing my Black Bay 54. I like these 37 dive watches.
Yeah.
So why not have another one?
Okay.
So ordered that one as well. Um, so now, fast forward, the next morning, the shacket ships. And I was like, wow, okay, super fast, super cool. Um, so I'm waiting for the other watches to ship. I emailed them. I said, are these shipping? I want to make sure you have them. Oh, yes, no problem, ma'am, sir. It will ship immediately. Okay, waiting. Um, 2 weeks go by roughly,
Mm-hmm.
and actually about a week and a half, and then I get a shipping uh, notification
Yeah.
for the watches. However, it doesn't actually get picked up by FedEx. It just was a notification, like a tracking number. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. At least they've done something. But it didn't move for another like 4 days, 5 days. I don't even know, half a week. So I'm like, this is awfully strange, but sure. At some point, it just starts moving. So, okay, still haven't received the shacket after 2 weeks. And I was like, this is very strange because FedEx is usually very quick.
Yes.
So at some point, the shacket we felt was lost or something happened. So I contacted FedEx. They figured it all out. Turns out it was sitting in a warehouse somewhere in Dubai, in the Dubai World Trade Center, and they overnighted it to me from the World Trade Center to my house. So I got it, everything fine. I said, okay, fine, just the FedEx's issue, no issues. So meanwhile, the watches are moving through. Then the watch's estimated delivery time comes and goes. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, that's strange. Again, it's late. I've never had any issues with FedEx before. But eventually, the watch turns up about 3 days after it was supposed to. Uh, I was not
Mm.
home at the time, so I told my wife, the what is it? Import duties should be around 10%. I budgeted about 12%, so the whole order was 21,000 dirhams. So I said, okay, 10%, make it 12 just in case fees. So I said 2,500 dirhams should be around what the import duties are. So I got a message. It said 2,200. I said, perfect. So I told my wife, go ahead. And when you get the watches, pay the 2,200. So she did as I told her. So then a couple hours later, I get home and I see a box sitting on the counter. And I look at it and I said, that's an awfully small box for a Grand Seiko and an
Right.
Oris.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't think much of it. I'm like, this can't be that stupid. Actually, I should mention this. Before this even happened, Ralph and I were chatting. And I jokingly said, because I had read a Reddit story about a person who had ordered a watch on Hodinkee, received the watch box itself, but there was no watch inside. So I jokingly said to Ralph, let's hope that the watches are inside the boxes, as a joke, of course,
Ooh, yeah.
um, which was I mean, I guess that premonition was correct. But it gets worse. So I open the box. Oris is there, packed perfectly fine, no issues. Grand Seiko entirely missing. No Grand Seiko whatsoever. No Grand Seiko that I had just paid 2,200 dirhams of import duties for. Gone, missing. The box had not been opened, had not been tampered with.
Yeah.
And the box was physically not large enough to even hold anything besides the Oris.
Right.
So they never even shipped it. However, inside the box were the import, or I'm sorry, on the outside of the box were the import documentation. And they had, of course, the import documentation for both the Oris and the Grand Seiko. So,
so the
they made me
packing
pay
slip
duties.
of this shipment
Yes,
in this box
had both.
basically had both, but it wasn't in
From it was coming from Hodinkee / Crown and Caliber. So I freaked out naturally, and I said, because I know for a fact I've tried to hunt after FedEx before for overpaid import duties. You don't get your import duties back. It just does not work. It never has happened before.
Yeah,
because once again, FedEx pays it to the government, and the government has no interest in talking to you. So once that's paid, it's gone. So essentially, I just paid because if we break it up, it wasn't all 2,200 for the Grand Seiko, but it was about 1,400 for the Grand Seiko, and then 800 or so for the Oris.
Yeah.
So I'm out 1,400 because Hodinkee put it on the packing list, but it was not there.
This is really, really annoying, right?
It's not. It's beyond annoying. This is negligent. Because now they're costing a customer, in this, what's $400 roughly, for no reason. Because of their negligence, I paid $400. So I said to myself, okay, I'll fire off an email. It was not a very particularly nice email to Hodinkee, but the problem was it was a Saturday, and it's a long weekend in the U.S., so they're not going to be open until Tuesday. At the time you're hearing this, they're going to finally be open.
Yeah,
it's Labor Day, so they're closed. So naturally, Hodinkee being the relaxed environment they are, everyone's taking their siestas and not working. So I will not hear anything back for quite some time. And this, of course, scares me as well. Now we have $3,500 missing, plus another $400 for the import duties gone. So my whole Hodinkee order was $5,500. Just keep that number in mind. For the Oris, the Shacket, and the thing. So essentially, $5,500 order. They failed to pack it correctly, and for this reason, we're missing a $3,500 watch, which at the same time is also now sold out. So now, I immediately I said, you know what? I'll email them. We'll see what happens. Maybe they're working on Saturday. Of course, I woke up and nothing, no email. So I went to walk the dog, and I said I should do another search because I did find the guy that's on Reddit about the one watch that wasn't in the box.
Right.
So I said, I'll do another Reddit search. And the floodgates open. Hodinkee last chance clearance sale is a scam. Didn't ship things. Didn't give the money back. Two examples of the Grand Seiko, the exact same Grand Seiko. Individuals said that they had placed the orders. About a week or so later, they had received a tracking number from FedEx.
Yeah.
But then their tracking numbers got canceled. So essentially, I guess Hodinkee realized they didn't have the watches. So then they canceled the tracking, but they never refunded the money. And these customers were calling Hodinkee and saying, you canceled my order. What the hell is going on? You didn't refund the money. You just managed to cancel the tracking.
Yeah.
So they're, of course, fuming. And so they did what every logical, American would do, a good, God-fearing American. They contacted the credit card company, which American credit cards are really, really good at protecting the customer. They always take the customer's side in anything. So this is why it's very, very good. So essentially what happened was they did what's called the credit card chargeback. They told the credit card company that this people failed to deliver the expected item, and therefore
reverse the charges or something. Yeah, exactly.
Then the credit card company will reverse the charges.
Yeah.
Depending on the amount, they will go after the seller. If it's a $20 thing, they probably say, screw it, we don't care. But in the case of a $3,500 watch, they will go knocking on Hodinkee's door. And this is exactly what happened. The guy said, not one person from Hodinkee wrote them back. Numerous emails were sent until they did the credit card chargeback. And I'm assuming this somehow affects negatively the business's license, or I don't know what happened, but there might be some reason that this is not good for them to have these chargebacks.
I think probably they whatever is their payment processor will have issues with that, and then you're standing with the banks. Exactly. I don't know what it is, but you might have higher percentage of charges then for your normal.
So something happened. Yeah. So they ended up immediately contacting this guy and saying, we need to, can you please retract your disagreement or whatever you call it, your case with the credit card company? We will refund the money right away.
Right.
We'll find something for you. We'll ship a watch. We'll do something. We'll make it right. And the guy returns to Hodinkee and says, F you, I'm keeping everything the way it is. And I'm like, yeah, that's the way you should do it. So he ended up not doing anything and kept the thing in place and said, you know what? Screw you guys. And then there was another like 2 of these cases on Reddit. So I decided to share my case on Reddit as well. So if you want to read more into this story, you can go onto Reddit. The story is called Hodinkee didn't ship my watches, or didn't put pack the watch into the shipping package or something like this. And as of 8 hours, basically, of it being active, I had 200 likes. It had 55 comments. Absolutely, wow. And this is what's funny is people there's all kinds of skepticism going on, saying, is Hodinkee really going? There's one guy said, we should stop buying from them as a watch community. We should stick up for people like this, and we should stop purchasing things from them. And then somebody comments like, there's no point in boycotting a company who's going bankrupt or going under. And then somebody commented on that and said, well, there's a mattress store next to my house that's been going out of business for 30 years. In the US, they always have these
clearance sale. Yeah,
clearance sales. It's kind of like if you go to any a mall and you see a Pierre Cardin, it's always going out of business, 90% off, right?
Buy one, get 4.
Off. Exactly. So it's always the same deal. So somebody's saying, is Hodinkee doing this? So lots of activity on this. But nonetheless, of course, I still have yet to hear anything from Hodinkee. The bank has said they will refund the money within 48 hours. So it's only been 24, but I should be seeing that money within the next day. And I told you I total was 5,500. So I asked for 3,800 back. So that is both the import duties as well as the watch's price. So that's what we did. I told Hodinkee, if you send the watch, duties prepaid and everything, and I receive it, we'll be fine. I will call it a day, and I paid import duties on the watch and everything is fine. Yeah. But of course, no response. I'm 99% sure that watch doesn't exist. Ralph has this idea that there's a 1% chance that the watch is sitting on a shelf somewhere, which could be the case.
I think there could be. I mean, look, somehow it seems like, look, okay, I looked through your Reddit thread. I haven't read everything at it yet, but I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of these issues,
a lot of people are chiming in and saying, me too. And that's the thing. You'll notice that there's a lot of people saying, this is the 100th story like this. Why do we let them do this to us? But the thing that I noticed at the very last comment from this morning was a guy saying, I've had similar experience. Turns out they shipped the watch to someone else. So essentially, someone received a $3,500 watch for free because they mixed up the addresses. So I paid, but they put the box in somebody else's. Or the watch in somebody else's box.
But that's what you don't understand, right? I mean, look, I do only know from certain logistics centers of how that works in warehouses. Somebody puts stuff into a tub, in a plastic tub. Somebody gets the tub, packs it in appropriate boxes, applies the label on the box, and then ships it out. I mean, there's no, if the packing list is what it is, right, and that should have all been in that little tub, then it should have gone somewhere. So it's a bit weird that for you that everything is, the packing list is correct. It was supposed to be in one shipment in one box, and then one box comes with, obviously designed for just keeping the things that were in it, meaning one watch box less, because the Grand Seiko boxes are big, square, chunky things, right? So
It would never have fit in this small little rectangle.
Exactly.
But now the funny thing is, this whole conspiracy theory, gets thicker a little bit. So I ended up sending emails to a bunch of people. I sent an email to, I do this kind of, brute force attempt to send an email to the CEO. We know his name is Jeffrey Fowler. So you do every combination of his name that's possible. J Fowler at Hodinkee, Jeffrey.Fowler, Jeff.Fowler, all these different variations and permutations. And you send an email to each one.
Yeah.
And the one that doesn't bounce back is generally the correct one, right? In this case, if you would like to write to Hodinkee, specifically the CEO, it's jfowler@hodinkee.com. Feel free to write a nice email. So I let him know my thoughts, and I said, here's my Reddit thread. I think it would be important for you to know about the shenanigans that are going on at the Hodinkee shop. And that's it. I said, if there's anything else you can do, please let me know. So let's see. I mean, I doubt he's going to respond. I doubt he even cares, frankly. And I'm sure he knows everything that's going on. So it's not a surprise to him. But nonetheless, I've sent a bunch of emails. So there's nothing much we can do there. And at the same time, I had my heart set on this watch, right? All I want is for them to make it right.
Yeah.
But I have found the same watch from a few other places on Chrono and eBay. So my logic is, if I get the credit card charge back, which I should receive today or tomorrow, I'm just going to go ahead and buy the same watch again. I'll wait for a couple of days, maybe till midweek, and then I will pay a little bit more, because it's going to be like 3,000 dirhams more. But, I'll get the watch that I want, and it'll be coming from a human being as opposed to a, ghost-like entity.
Yeah, that is such disappointment, because I mean, look, lots of people are saying that. Well, that's why they're going out of business, because I mean, these experiences are not new for a lot of people, right? And you expected somewhat, watch enthusiasts running a watch company, that you will have this kind of premium experience where you think, okay, and also the prices were not just necessarily the lower or something like that, right? So it was normal. And you think, well, if they make them,
once again, $3,500 is $3,500. We're not talking about as I mentioned in my Reddit thread. It's if I were to place an order on H&M and there's a 20 dirham shirt that doesn't come, I'll be like, they forgot to pack the 20 dirham shirt. Sounds about right. I'll send them an email, give them a call. Well, the problem is you can't even call Hodinkee or Crown and Caliber. Both phone lines have been disconnected. If you try to call them, it will say the lines are no longer in service.
Yeah, that's
number one.
My theory was that my theory is that they are, I mean, since they decided to go out of business, they probably laid off so many of these people who actually know things. And you mentioned as well that you have on your packing list, you have a signature of a person who's actually not anymore working there. What was that? What was that? Tell us about it.
That's a fun. Basically, this is now beyond a level of accent. This is now a criminal activity, because they have forged paperwork that is going to a government, right? Essentially, they forged import documents. So what happened was, the import documentation for the two watches, that we had one each, one for each watch, saying the value of each watch. They didn't say what the watches were. They just said automatic watch 1, automatic watch 2, essentially. And then it said the price. And then it's said country of origin. Apparently, the Grand Seiko is made in Switzerland. I did not know this, but apparently Hodinkee said it is.
Of course it is.
Yes, it's a very fine Swiss watch. They did at least say they were automatic. I'd be surprised if one was a manual wind or something.
Now we have to
Or
call
a
it
quartz. And
not Grand Seiko, but Grand Seiko. It's coming from Switzerland.
Grand. Okay,
Grand Seiko.
Tim Mosso
Grand.
style. He always says Grand Seiko.
Grand Seiko.
So
Yeah.
we ended up, so it was signed by a guy whose name I forgot. I don't know. His whole name, middle initial, everything is there. Signature, and it said Logistics Manager Hodinkee. So I said, you know what? I will probably write to this guy directly. I'll find him on Instagram. I'll find him on Facebook, send him a message.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I popped up was his LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? He hasn't worked for Hodinkee since October of 2023. So then the question is, why on earth are they using his name and signature in 2024
official
August,
documents
official government documents?
That is not okay.
Yeah. No. And I wonder if the guy knows about this.
This is 10 months.
And once again, they're lying on import documentation with his name. You had a similar story about your name being on a check somewhere, right? And you ended up getting in trouble for this. In the same way, if this went to court, the person whose name and signature is on it is the one who's liable.
Yes, exactly.
So the Reddit thread was telling me, like, this is lawyer territory. Like, you could seriously lawyer up. And then somebody said, you're going to sue the company that's bankrupt?
Maybe you should send that, a screenshot or a picture of this document to that person via LinkedIn and saying, like, do you know that your name is still on all of the shipping documentation? That you actually are the person. I need to have
a premium account for that, by the way. I don't know if you have a premium account, but I'm happy to send it to you. And we can, and you can forward it to him, because apparently I can't send messages unless I have the premium account.
I think you just need to connect him first. Then
well, he has to approve the connection, which is not going to happen.
Right.
Probably, yeah. But if you have a premium, you don't have to connect to send messages, is what it said.
Okay.
So, anyway, same with Jeffrey Fowler. I wanted to send him a LinkedIn message, but that didn't work either. But anyway, so therefore, we are stuck here, and this is what's going on. So, so we have no watch. We have, we're out $2,200. Or dirham, sorry. Of course, the credit card will cover that. And let's see what happens. That's my story of Hodinkee. And by the way, I do need to mention, I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous Hodinkee episode. I love Hodinkee. I love their writing. I love all their articles, everything, I'm a huge passionate Hodinkee supporter. And I should kind of say the Hodinkee and the Hodinkee shop are two different fundamental entities. They're not the same. So I can be mad at the shop, but not mad at the actual masthead itself. But I did about 2-3 years ago stop buying from the Hodinkee shop and just only bought on eBay, because I knew that on eBay I would at least get what was pictured. Because I had so many experiences where Hodinkee was sending the wrong item. They were sending different items than what was pictured. They were sending different colors of items. They were, in this case, not sending any item. So I had so many issues with them in the past that or defective items. I got a defective swatch that didn't work. I got a leather watch roll with a freaking giant, it looked like somebody took a knife to the front of it, and there's a giant scar on it, on the leather, a hole in it. So all kinds of stuff. But what can you do?
What can you do? It's specifically, it's just always a letdown if you have companies that pride themselves with this kind of, customer service and understanding your audience, right? Because that's what Hodinkee is, right? You think, man, these are passionate watch people. They know the importance of all of this stuff. It's a letdown. It's a letdown.
We will keep you guys posted on what happens. I mean, worst case scenario, I buy the watch on eBay, spend a little bit more and get that. But
the good thing is that you have been. I mean, you were able to just dispute the charge because you didn't get what you ordered and what you paid for.
Oh my God! Could you imagine if I did this on my Arab credit card?
So the thing is, you could probably do this, but it would take a long time, right? This is the issue.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it would take a very long time, and it wouldn't be as simple. But this, once again, this worked out luckily, and worst case scenario, I get my money back.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't put a very happy feeling when, at least I got the Oris. Frankly, I did get the Oris. I got the Oris for $2,200. Which is an absolute steal of a deal for the in-house caliber 400 Oris.
That is true.
So what are we going to do?
Yeah, but
What are we going to do,
it's
right?
still, yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, this is just the frustration of it, right? I mean, it's just like you expected to have something, you paid for it. It had delays during shipping, right? So already that is a bit of a
Yeah, but that's
issue.
FedEx's fault. That's nothing to do with Hodinkee, I think, right?
Maybe not.
I mean, once again, the shacket shipped the next day.
Mm.
So I can't really complain about that, but I can complain about the 7-8 days I waited for the watches to ship only to have a tracking number, and then another I don't know how many days, and I emailed them 3-4 times. They confirmed everything was in stock and everything was ready and everything was mine and everything was fine. And
See,
in essence, they were just lying. They were just saying something to shut me up.
yeah, what I don't understand, and this is the one thing. I mean, online businesses are now, well, so mature, right? I mean, and a business like Hodinkee that didn't actually have a physical store was online all the time, right? I mean, they
Yeah, and
wanted
they
to
should know
open
how to do this.
a brick and mortar
Physical.
store, but they have never actually really opened it, right? Their boutique, I think.
No, they never did.
So what I'm saying is they were online, they were shipping the entire time, and by now you should have been able to figure it out,
Figured it out.
even if
But
you
they never
are,
did. They
yeah,
never did.
even if you're new in the game, right? I mean, this is just not rocket science anymore, and still making. I
It's
mean,
not. And there's so many
mistakes
small
happen,
companies that
right?
manage to do this.
Yeah, mistakes
But
happen,
mistakes every single time.
but having then no customer service that actually responds to actually customer service requests is really terrible, right? I mean, this when you read this in the threads everywhere in Reddit and other places where people saying like, well, yeah, you will never get a response. That just doesn't compute
Sit
for
right.
me, right? Yeah, so you have to have people to respond to your customers' queries, right?
Well, they used to have a phone number. They used to have an iMessage chat.
Yeah,
And things
well,
used to be really good. And then every time, they started getting worse and worse and worse and worse and slowly deteriorating. So I think they chose the right thing to not
to get
deal
out of
with
that
the
business,
online
yeah,
sales. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Because this is not for them, clearly. They're unable to do their job. So
yeah.
anyway, now I'm depressed again. So thank you, Ralph.
What you wanted to tell a story?
I did. Yes, I think it's important to tell the story.
Yes, it is. I mean,
So
look, generally, online purchases are fine. Everything is usually going well. Mistakes can happen, but it always depends on the company and how they actually react to issues. If there is if there is an issue, I had wonderful customer experiences here in the UAE and in the Gulf region, where you pick up the phone or you send an email, and the people will just make sure you get what if something a mistake happened, that they sort you out, right? So
yeah,
it's really cool. Most of the
it's the
time,
least you would expect.
yeah, exactly. And they're saying, we are very sorry for your bad experience. Sometimes they even throw in some extra goodies because you have been waiting for something a bit longer, or you have had a bad experience, and they want to make sure that you are a happy customer.
This is very true, but I do have to say that this is not the worst case scenario. There are people, if you look at the
Yes.
Reddit threads, our dash Hodinkee has closed, by the way.
Okay.
There's no longer a Hodinkee Reddit. I think Hodinkee got upset and took it down, probably, or asked to get it taken down. So now there's only r/watches. But the thing is, there are people who have sent. Remember when they were doing watch buying and trading
Yes.
and selling? There are people that had recently, before the whole announcement, a couple days before the announcement, had sent watches to them. One guy was saying, I sent a $5,500 watch to them for a trade.
Yeah.
And they never responded. And he said, I've been trying to hunt them down. And in that case, there's no credit card buyback. There's no chargeback. There's nothing.
No, you can't do anything. You send a watch, and it's that's
and he
it.
said, there's no phone number. I can't call them. I can't, they don't respond to my emails. What do I do? So that's a significantly worse situation, in my opinion.
100%.
So I'm not exactly in the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But anyway,
man.
that's kind of the rant over. I think buyer beware. Short episode today, just for the sake of getting this story off my chest.
Yeah, we're crossing fingers for you, obviously, and we hope that everything will be sorted out. Either they just respond, do something, say we have the watch, we send it to you, duty paid,
That'd be fantastic. Like, I would be okay with that.
I somehow doubt that, though.
You don't think that's going to happen?
I don't think that they will send everything duty paid, because that would be meaning that there's somebody in customer support or customer service who actually knows what they're doing and has to.
Well, it's fine. Even if they did that, I could charge back just the duties.
Yes, right.
Right. So I'll pay the duties again and charge back the first duties. So that's fine too.
Yeah.
I have, I'm okay with certain things, but they need to respond first for anything to happen, and that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
So
such a sad story. This should, yeah.
It is. It is. It's first world problems at the end of the day, but it's still upsetting, right?
No, but
you spend this money and you expect something back, and they screw you over.
No, it's not first. I mean, this is just a very simple transaction. You pay and you don't get. That's just not right. I mean, there's no questions about it, right?
You pay and then you pay again.
Yeah.
For the payment of the first payment, and then don't get. Yeah. So this is a sticky, sore subject for me. So
absolutely.
Anyway. So once again, there's a short episode for today. Just 40 minutes.
Next week positive news. Long. Yes, and
let's hope.
Geneva Watch Days. We have lots to talk about.
Exactly. All right. Well,
all the best. Crossing fingers, you will get a response tomorrow. Let's hope so.
Let's cross our fingers. Thanks for listening. And if you have similar experiences, comments, message us on Instagram, and we will
let us know.
Share
we talk about it. Absolutely.
So, all right.
See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.